Far beneath the ocean's surface, where the sunlight fades into a gentle twilight and the world grows still, the city of Atlantis thrived. It was no sunken ruin or forgotten legend, just a vibrant home to a people who had turned the deep into the city shimmering with life, illuminated by bioluminescent creatures that floated through the water like living lanterns. Towers crafted from coral and translucent glass stretched upward from the seafloor, their surfaces etched with patterns inspired by the curves of sea creatures. Tunnels wove between them, glowing faintly with the light of tiny plankton, guiding the Atlanteans through their underwater realm. The air was water, and the people moved through it with ease, their pale, smooth skin and large, luminous eyes perfectly suited to the dim depths. Long ago, their ancestors had walked on land, but now their lungs drew breath from the sea itself, a gift of adaptation or ancient artistries into their domain. The Atlanteans had mastered their environment. Machines hummed softly, powered by the heat of geothermal vents that dotted the ocean floor, their rhythms blending with the tides. They cultivated vast kelp forests and tended schools of fish, while glowing gardens of plankton provided both food and light. Their voices, soft and melodic, carried through the water like songs, a language shaped by the sea's own resonance. Life here was not without its challenges, pressure, darkness, and the constant need for resources, but it was a life they had made their own, steady and calm beneath the chaos of the world above. One day, a young Atlantean named Lyra ventured beyond the city's edge, to the outer reefs. There, half buried in the silt, she found something strange, a rusted, twisted shard of metal, alien to the organic curves of her world. It was a relic from the surface, a whisper of the lost above. Her heart thrummed with wonder, but when she brought it to the elders, their faces darkened. "Leave it be," they warned. "The surface is a place of greed and ruin. It's why we're here, safe in the deep." Yet Lyra couldn't let it go. She dreamed of the sun her grandmother had described, of wind and sky, of a world beyond the quiet depths. What if the surface wasn't all bad? What if there was something to learn? Lyra's discovery stirred the city. Her questions spread like ripples, igniting curiosity in some and fear in others. A few joined her, dreaming of connection with the world above, while many clung to the safety of tradition. The city buzzed with tension, hope wrestling with dread. Lyra, undeterred, gathered a small band of friends and set to work. Together, they built a vessel, a sleek machine fueled by the sea's own energy, strong enough to pierce the barrier between their world and the one above. The elders watched in silence, disapproval etched in their gazes, but they didn't stop her. When the day arrived, Lyra climbed into the vessel, her pulse racing. The water churned as the machine came alive, ascending slowly through the dark. Above her, the faint glow of the surface grew brighter, a promise and a risk. Then, with a shudder, they broke through. The sun blazed down, blinding and fierce, and the air hit her like a shock, sharp, cold, alive. Lyra gasped, her lungs burning as they remembered an ancient rhythm. She stood, trembling, beneath an endless sky, the horizon stretching wide before her. For the first time in generations, an Atlantean breathed the air of the surface. Below, Atlantis waited. Lyra's journey was no end, but a beginning. The world above was vast and unknown, a mystery to unravel. The city had thrived in the deep, its people carving a life from the sea's embrace. Now, perhaps, it was time to rise, not to abandon their home, but to bridge the divide. Lyra looked back at the waves, her mind alight with possibility. Whatever lay ahead, Atlantis would face it as it always had, together, thriving, in the depths and beyond. Lyra stood on the rocky shore, her bare feet sinking into the damp sand as the waves lapped gently at her ankles. The air was sharp and unfamiliar, carrying scents of salt and something earthy she couldn't name. Above her, the sky stretched wide and blue, dotted with drifting clouds, and the sun blazed with a warmth that felt both thrilling and overwhelming. Her heart raced as she took it all in, the endless horizon, the crash of waves, the distant cry of birds. It was everything her grandmother's stories had promised and more. But as the wonder settled, a flicker of unease crept in. She was alone here, a stranger in a world her people had long abandoned. The elders' warnings echoed in her mind, the surface is a place of greed and ruin. Yet, standing here, Lyra saw beauty and possibility. Surely, there was more to this world than the stories of old. She glanced back at the ocean, its surface glittering under the sun. Somewhere beneath those waves, Atlantis waited, her home, her people, her life. But now, a new path lay before her, one she couldn't turn away from. With a deep breath, she stepped forward, ready to explore.